Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. Like, I'm definitely going to go through all of the replays, but I feel like I've already talked at length about a lot of the stuff that I think you need to work into your game. So just going through the matches, I think, at certain points, I'll just pause it, maybe talk about maybe those points that I addressed in the previous video, and that will give you tangible ways that you can use what we discussed as kind of like a, how would you actually apply that in a game? So let's look at the first replay. Versus the best character in the game.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
So just as a reminder though, I didn't I didn't talk about round starts unfortunately in the video, but one thing I did pick up on was the fact that you do like to up back a lot at round start. I don't mind the aversion to getting hit at round start, but there are some characters where you do really want to try to press some sort of advantage even at the start of the game. So I might defer to Liam a bit on what Geo's best round starts are, but I'm guessing, you want to, in addition to maybe backing off at some points, working in a 6P or a round start 5H into your game could also be helpful, just so you're not getting overly predictable. So there's that JS we talked about. Thrown. Nice jump out of the corner, or attempt to anyways. I don't really fault you for that, but opponent was ready. Knockdown. That was a weird interaction. Let's go back and see what happened there. So we did round start axe kick. I don't mind that we pressed a button at round start, but our reward off of round start axe kick for the risk is, I wouldn't say it's the highest that it could be. If we check our little resource 505 or 500 error gatewayerrorloop.com. What is the frame data on axe kick anyways? 13 frame startup, -4 on block. No Gatling options because it's a special move. Why are we doing that as opposed to a round start 5H, which is a 10 frame startup, -5 on block, but does have Gatling options? 5H does lose to 6Ps though, whereas your axe kick does not. So that is one option, or that's one reason. But I don't really see a ton of geos that are super, super strong like go for this. So I'm assuming that it's just, there is a little bit something better that we can be doing. So there's that flip kick. See, that's what I was kind of talking about here, right? If we score the knockdown, and then we do the axe kick for some reason. So we kind of have sacrificed all of the knockdown frame advantage that we have, and now the opponent is kind of just free to get up. And you did press a button. You were lucky enough to counter hit him, but I think we could have pressed that situation a little bit better. So we comboed into the axe kick, we got a knockdown, and what do? We just back off for some reason. Now it's understandable, the Anji does have 100 meter, so there is a chance that he will wake up counter, but I don't know if necessarily we want to just back off like this every time. And if we think the Anji is going to counter, what we can do instead is run up to him and just throw him on his wake up, because Anji does not have a conventional reversal super, which is, if you don't know the matchup, something that that's sort of like on our I don't have my notepad open, but that's sort of on the matchup experience, number 5 on the list. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. I don't think for a second that Anji had confirmed that, but it worked out for him. So. Okay, so what's our round start again? If we up back? Okay, so we still back up, right? So same kind of general idea. We don't want to do that every time. Okay, don't mind the burst. Another spiral arrow, another JS, another spiral arrow. Another JS. So you can kind of just see, right, this general lack of comfort with playing at a range and playing on the ground. So he is willing to counter super, so that's good to know. I like the 6P because he was running up on you. If you would have pressed a far slash or something, he would have gotten hit. I don't think that pressing far slash afterwards is very well informed though, but you know, whatever. And right here, this is kind of systemic or like indicative, I would say, of like a bigger problem, right? Where, we're kind of, whether intentionally or not, giving the opponent a lot of space to work with, right? I would say in general, you probably up back and just back up, like move backwards too often, which means that you're going to find yourself in the corner in situations where you don't need to. Your opponent doesn't even have to do anything threatening. He's just walking at you, and you're like backing way up into the corner and giving your opponent all that free space. Whereas if you would have held your ground with like a 2D or a 6P, and your opponent did the same thing, they would have blocked it, and you can potentially start pressure from that. I like that we spiral arrowed and then did a far slash. That was good because we recognize spiral arrow is plus, and we pressed a button afterwards. Our opponent does not seem like they know that spiral arrow is plus, or they assume that you would go for something cute. So they got counter hit. What do we do? Let's take a look. I'm gonna take a drink. Combo into axe kick, fantastic. What's our OP? Kind of a little shaky, we using our dash macro, we can dash forward twice and then close slash, but we still counter hit him and he did some sort of reversal. So awesome. Are we gonna loop into the same situation? I would have just gone into axe kick again and just kind of loop that situation until we've established that the opponent has some way to deal with it. So right here, we're kind of seeing that we don't have that framework in place yet, right? We've hit so many axe kicks in this round, and we just don't know what to do with the frame advantage. We dash forward and do nothing, or with a 6H. We land another axe kick, and all we do is like super jump in the air for some reason. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate this. You don't need to have a million different things at the start to do off of your axe kick special ender. All you need is like one or two things. And as long as they complement each other, then we're off to the races. All you need to do is, press that dash macro twice, dash, dash, and then do a close slash. Nice. Okay, what's the combo? Okay. Meaty close slash. We could have pushed that combo a bit further, but whatever. Counter hit 5H, nice. And, spiral arrow works out for us that time. Excellent. Oh dear. Rounds start back up again, so, you get the idea. You don't want to do that every time. Okay. So, with our multi-hit move, like a far slash, we should be able to hit confirm this into an axe kick because it does go on for a long time. So you should have the axe kick at the ready so that if your opponent does run into it, then you can combo into it. So axe kick, what are we doing? Yeah, you get the idea. We need to tighten that up. Okay. So right here, you can kind of, and this has been maybe a bit of an issue that I'm only picking up on now, but maybe it was a bit present throughout the set. We've got a full stick of butter, and it doesn't seem like we know what to do with it. A few options, one of which I went over in the video, if you're doing an axe kick special as a frame trap to try to see if your opponent is going to bite on it, and if they're mashing during your block string. If they don't, you can RC to take another turn and dash up and start the sequence again. You can also do stuff like dive kick special. You can use the meter defensively on faultless defense or a guard cancel, your YRC. These are all things that you can do with your meter. And once we're at 100, then we start to float meter, right? We don't build anymore. So when you get to 100 meter, I would say more often than not, you want to try to dump meter in some way so that you can keep that resource flowing and keep getting that resource. So right there, even like, you know, we force our opponent to block like literally anything. I would have RC'd and just tried to like make something happen off of that. Okay, we got a gold burst, but we already had 100 meter, so we didn't actually get any meter from that gold burst. You see what I'm saying? What we could have done instead, because we have 100 meter, is actually just reversal super. And if that reversal super doesn't work out, we can still RC it, and we're plus. So we can do that instead of gold burst as an option because we have 100 meter. We could have also waited until the opponent makes us block something and then wide RC whatever button they choose to press. And this is kind of a matchup thing I'm not hugely going to care about, but yes, all of Anji's Fujin follow-ups are kind of reactable, so eventually you probably want to lap those out. And a double KO, so we're going for another round. Sudden death. Or wait, yeah, that's how it works. I'm not sure what we were pressing here. I would say your layer 1 should probably be against most opponents to just down back and hit flawless defense on wake up and push the opponent out like I demonstrated in that video, because if you were reading a throw and we're pressing throw tech there, then that is fine. But if it is habitual and you have a tendency or you feel uncomfortable with blocking, then that is a bit of a problem that needs to be addressed, right? Your opponent also really likes to do the reset overhead. So eventually being ready for that would be ideal. But, you know, again, I'm not going to focus too much on matchup specific stuff at this time. All right, so we're pretty far behind. Back up again. We did spiral arrow through butterfly. Congratulations. That is a good response to butterfly. It's not the only one, but it is definitely something good. But you need to see, we did spiral arrow when our opponent was already kind of in the air. So it's not really the best time to throw this out. And we kind of got punished for it. He could have killed us, and he does eventually. But yeah, just again, sort of like an overuse of that special move because maybe it is relatively easy to use and relatively low risk, but it's not the best option a lot of the time. So yeah, just double check the recording's working. Seems like it is. Let's go to the next game. I might talk for a little bit less during this one because I don't want to just kick a dead horse, right? If I mentioned a problem in the video, then I'm not going to mention it again. We're just going to keep looking at new things to work on. I don't know why the audio is desynced, but whatever. So right there, you know, we hit our bar slash and need to transition into an axe kick ender. You can do 5H axe kick or you can just do an axe kick. I don't mind the IAD in that context because the opponent did demonstrate that they were throwing out a lot of ground buttons like 2H and 2S, so an air dash makes sense to me here. But we need to have a plan when that air dash works out like it did right here. What are we doing? We did a close slash, excellent. How are we transitioning into a combo? We don't. That is something that we need to work on. Close slash, 2S, 5H, into axe kick. That's your main combo from that context. Okay. Again, we confirmed into our combo, and then we do meaty spiral arrow and get hit out of it. So again, just tightening that up is ideal. We do have 100 meter. Our opponent now has 100 meter. So if we make the opponent block something, I would have RC'd because we have that meter to burn, right? The next hit will kill from either person if they're on point. He was not on point. Dive kick super, I like it. Okay. get cold bursted again. Oh my goodness. Okay, so right there, we're at 100 meter again. I would have, wait, did the video like reset or something? Yeah, this looks too familiar. Okay. Round 2. Okay, so frame trap. If you hit that axe kick, by the way, like this, I believe you can do dash forward into 5k into another axe kick. It's also fine to just let that rock because you do get a knockdown, but you do want to confirm off of it a little bit better. Also, we make the opponent block a far slash, and it doesn't seem like we know what to do with it, so we just kind of back off. Just as a reminder, you can do far slash into 5h, and then depending on what you think the opponent is going to do, you can either axe kick if you think they're going to mash, or you can spiral arrow if you think they're going to be respectful. You can also do the flip kick as well here, your 214S. That's also a reasonably okay option. But backing up, I don't think was the correct play. Kind of do it again. Nice confirm into the axe kick. We seem to be preferring the spiral ender meaty in this, their spiral arrow meaty this round. I'm not a huge fan because I don't think it actually hits like them when they get up. Like I think they can disrespect it. We have 100 meter again, so we're starting to notice we're floating a lot of meter in a game. We don't seem to know what to do with it, so just going back to those options we mentioned before. Maybe I'll turn down. I'm worried that my voice is getting eaten by the audio. I hope it wasn't too bad and I lost like half an hour of footage. I didn't mind that idea. We could have comboed into another axe kick or even a super to close out that game. But what can you do? Alright, we do have another game. I don't know if it's... I feel like I'm kind of going through the same general, like, couple of things that I've already mentioned, so I think we might leave that one. But, you know, just watching through the video, efficiently using meter and applying that framework we talked about in the video, confirming off of your hits and making sure you're meeting the opponent consistently when they're getting up. These are all things that I kind of noticed we weren't really doing as much as we should. Also, not backing up as much during round start and having an understanding of what buttons are good to use in round start are that's definitely something to work on too. I'm not super familiar with Geo's round start options, so I don't want to like put out too much bad information. So you might want to ask like Liam in the Discord for what her common ones are. But yeah, let's end that there. If you have any questions, yeah, definitely feel free to message me, and hopefully this was at least somewhat helpful.